What is up, homies? I have an important announcement to make. For the duration of April, I will be using this model instead of my regular one, and that's because on April 1st, I did a big mistake by casting a spell and it went haywire. Yeah, never cast spells on April 1st. My soul is currently stuck in this puppet, and until I beat Elden Ring to unlock the secret to how to get my body back, well, yeah. We're gonna be seeing Puppet a lot. Please don't leave. I hope you can enjoy this model too.
Brought to you by Incogni.
Incogni again! We know what we're
We've
getting
done
as
theatre,
ads.
We've done painting. We've done wine. And now it's time to do some drinking stuff in general. And to start...
I need to watch theater and painting. But let's ignore the fact that I didn't watch those and keep
Let
watching,
us learn about the drinking cultures of the world.
Drinking culture? How about me? No drinks. We have
Welcome
really
to
strong
my
spirited
private
stuff, though, in
Come
my
on,
country.
kid. I got a lot to teach you about the world. We must learn all of the drinking customs of all the funny foreign places.
Yeah!
Starting with where drinking was invented.
What?
The country of Uck.
Really? Huh? Drinking was invented in London? Well, in the UK? But really? Is it? Okay.
The trick is to jump just before you hit the ground. Observe British people in their natural habitat. Here they do a thing called cheers.
I mean, they're not wrong. After living in the UK for a while, they're not wrong. There is a strong culture around gathering in pubs for games, for hanging out, for meeting with people, for playing trivia. The pub culture is kind of strong in there. It was pretty fun, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Where they clink their glasses together before drinking. The tradition dates back centuries, but the origin, why they started doing it,
Clinking.
is somewhat unknown. But we have a couple of theories. Theory 1, poisoning.
What?
Yes. So imagine a situation like this. Two people who don't trust each other, sitting down together at the pub. This guy then does something shady to the other guy's drink.
You mean your
There you go.
typical adventure nowadays if you
Did
go in a
you
club as a
poison my
woman?
drink? Me? I would never. Well then, I'll pour a little of mine into yours, and you can pour a little of yours into mine, and we'll both either be totally fine or both totally dead. No, there's no need to do that. So that was the initial version, and then eventually they just kind of shortcutted it to, yeah, clink clink, it's fine, I trust you.
Clink, clink, it's fine, I
That's
trust
probably
you.
a myth. So, theory number 2. Ghosts.
Huh?
Now, in the Middle Ages, people were worried about spooky ghosts and spirits. So they'd do cheers very
Okay.
loudly to scare away the demons. Also, sometimes you'd spill some of your drink onto the table and the floor, and then that was like a little offering to the spirit.
Honestly, we do have that tradition where we actually pour one out for the dead. But seeing ghost internet historian like that just sniffing the drink is funny.
But that's probably also not true. The most likely answer is simply that everyone likes that sound. It's very satisfying. There's more.
Bruh! Ah, I see.
You know when someone drops a glass and everyone goes kind of silent, like, oh, you fucking idiot? Well, in the UK, instead, everyone goes, way, in celebration, as a way to make fun of you, but also make you feel not so bad. Uh-oh. The BBC? They have a whole organization for that now? We gotta get out of here. We'll take my private cruise ship. Come to Italy, where they filmed the Mario movie. Let me just park this here.
That is actually real.
Come this way to the Leaning Tower of Pizza, held up by the raw strength of 1,000 tourists posing for
Yep.
photographs. But
Is it wrong that if I go there, I want to do the exact same thing? Is it wrong? It's a dumb thing, but it's so cool to do weird shit with perspective in photographs that I don't care. I just want to have that as a memory for myself. Italy is like one of the few places I haven't been to that I would like to.
But did you know that Italians, when they say cheers, say chin chin?
No, I actually did
Now,
not know
that
that.
is very funny to the Japanese, because in Japanese, chin chin means penis.
Oh.
Germany next. Now here they do Bruderschaft, where you link your arms together when drinking. It's also kind of seen all over the world at weddings in particular, but only the Germans have a name for it. It symbolizes the end of formalities between two people. But the Germans have a lot more.
Locking in hands? Oh my. That is too lewd. We can't be here, chat. Way too lewd. No, holding hands, locking them intertwined. My K-dramas told me that is too lewd.
Now, when you clink glasses together with someone, you have to look them directly in the eye. And if you don't do it, you
Stare
will be
into
cursed
my
with
eyes.
7 years of bad sex, apparently. It's not my fault. It's the Germans.
Bad sex. Oh my. You better stare into my soul. Look, it's leaving my body. Ah. Back in.
Then when doing shots in Germany, they sometimes also go Zermit, and you hold the glass near your
Zermit?
belly. Zertit, and you hold it near your chest. And then Zumsack, and you hold it near your, And then Zak, and you drink. Now, on
It's
to
a
Finland.
vulgar
They keep
toast.
it casual. They have a custom.
Bruh, I've been to Germany several times and no one's done that. No one. I don't know if it's because of, me not having a sack, but damn.
Specifically for drinking alone. You're supposed to do it while loafing
Did you do
around
shots?
in your
Yeah.
underpants, and it's called kalsari kani, also known as underwear drunk. Right, that's all I could find on Finland. So off to Canada.
That's all I could find on Finland. Well, that's because you clearly didn't go out enough to find all the traditions. My Finnish friends told me so many drinking stories from Finland and weird habits and traditions, especially those that live secluded in mountain cabins. And like going in the sauna after and all sorts of weird stuff. Oh.
To get there, I booked us a private fishing trawler.
Yeah, Finnish people really have really high alcohol tolerance, at least the ones that I know. I don't know if that's true for everyone, but to be fair, their drinks are pretty intense due to cold weather and everything.
It's so exclusive that even these fish, yes, they go to a private school.
That is such a bad good pun. Oh my god.
In Newfoundland, Canada, they have the Newfoundland Screech. You
The
take a shot of
screech?
Screech, and then you do the
Rum?
Screech. Goes like this.
Is you a screecher? And then you answer like this. Deed I am, me old cock, and long may your big jib jaw. That's it.
It's a pirate culture. Then they take a big
Pirate
fish, usually a
culture.
cod, and they kiss it on the lips.
What? This is too lewd. This is too lewd. Wait. Do we have... We don't have a fish. Fuck. I was gonna check if we had a fish. Well, we don't have a fish asset. Goals for next time, I guess.
Anyway, I'm kind of Like, I'm busy, so there's no more customs anywhere in the world. You can do some more, maybe independent research yourself. I'll see you back in the field. Okay, this next section is on cocktails. So it all started when we made this asset where the IH character, he's shaking a cocktail at a frat party, and I turned to the editor and I went, wait a minute, that's a weird word. Why are they called cocktails? And we started Googling it, and we kind of went down a rabbit hole, and it was actually really interesting. So, here it is. Cocktails. In the 1700s, fuel prices were outrageous. So, everybody used the horse. Now, horses weren't just used for travel. They were also used for work in the fields. So you would sometimes put a harness on a horse for plowing a field, right?
Yeah.
Now, when you do that,
makes sense.
Its tail actually gets in the way, and so we have to do something about that thing.
Really?
Think of it like the foreskin of the horse. You put it in the guillotine, and everybody closes their eyes. Problem solved. Now, this practice is called docking. It has a different meaning these days. So once the tail is docked, some say it's much easier to clean. But it also kind of looks like a chicken's tail, right? Hence, they would call these tails cocktails.
What? Poor horses. What the?
So that's step one in the story. Step two. You've also got horse merchants, right? And they are a very shrewd bunch.
Yeah.
They know that when they sell their horses, the customer wants very feisty and energetic animals. Someone who's buying a horse doesn't want one that's kind of sickly or lazy or sleeping all the time, right? They need it for work.
Yeah.
So how do you ensure, then, that your horse looks full of beans and moxie and some other stuff?
Pump it with drugs?
And has the maximum horsepower possible when it's time to sell? Well, they would use this one quick hack. All the equestrians hate them. They would go over to their mortar and pestle, and they would throw in some chili, some ginger, and a few other spices, and just mix it all together.
Jesus Christ,
then
man.
They would go over to the horse, hold still, little fella, and with the mixture go up into the no-no area.
Oh, man.
Now, the horse doesn't like that very much, so it's kicking, it's going mad, and the bidders are all going, wow, this is a really great horse. It's got some spunk, I tell you.
What is this horse torture?
So the horse merchants made a whole bunch of money, and everyone was happy.
What is the...
Well,
poor
almost
horse.
everyone. The end.
Dude, I didn't need to know that. Like, poor horses. I really didn't need to know that. Like, I feel so bad for the poor horses. That's next level abuse, man. All for profit.
Of step two. Now step three. Around the same time, you've got bartenders over in the saloon, and they have just invented the science of mixology. They've realized that you can add Red Bull and lemon juice to stuff and actually make alcohol not taste so bad. But when they added some ginger and spices and maybe a little bit of pepper, people went, oh, I know these. These are those horse suppositories. Cocktails, we'll call them. Glug, 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 glug. And the name stuck.
Is that for real how the name came to be? What the actual fuck? I don't know if I can look at a menu and call it cocktail anymore. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think cocktails will ruin forever.
Do you think it's too early for ad time? I don't think it's too early for ad time.
It's never early for ad time.
Help me, Incogni Man. I signed up for discounts at the retail store and they won't stop sending me messages. Huh? I signed up to that website years ago. Why are they still spamming me?
I wonder why.
That would be my doing. I am Data-Based Man.
Data-based
Who will stop him?
It's me, Incogni Man.
Why does Incogni Man look
Incogni
like
is the
this
brilliant
now?
service that tells a whole bunch of databases and people who have your data
I feel
and
like I
stuff
missed
to get fucking lost. It says, hey,
some,
do you have this email address?
lore
Lose
over
it.
there.
Hey, marketer man, you can't use this phone number anymore. Instead of chasing them all up manually by signing up to Incogni, they send these legal requests on your behalf.
Big
You
lawyer
delete
for
it
big
from
laws,
the
wow.
Let us do battle in my realm.
And then we teleport to the desert.
I better follow him. Incogni portal.
Good of you to finally join us.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna
Incogni
stop.
portal, let's go.
Incogni lawyer powers, legal threats, data removal tools, Consumer Privacy Act, data
Damn.
protection regulations, polite yet stern word.
Light warning.
It has created a Gundam.
So go to
There,
incogni.com/incognito.
let's go.
Sign up today and get
Gundam.
60% off an annual plan. I won't change numbers. I won't change email addresses.
Why
I'll
are his
just
ads
simply
so unhinged
take
and
them
yet
back.
so amusing every time?
I can feel it working. My phone isn't ringing as often. My email inbox, it's less full with just a whole bunch of shit. And then like the sun, the clouds clear.
My databases are getting too light.
This is like preying on poor people with OCD at that point. Because my email has 10,000 unread emails that all go to spam. Eventually, I remember to hit the delete all button when I remember. They just get routed into a folder that I never check.
He'll die of the cold eventually.
Pan up and it's Nordman.
Hi, Inferno, welcome
not
in.
bad, kid.
Thank you, thank you.
Not bad at all.
So go to incogni.com/incognito.
Sign up today and get 60% off an annual plan.
Ad over. Have you heard about the latest dangerous trend? It's all over social
No.
media. Wine mixed with watermelon. A combination when mixed together makes a deadly poison. Here we are in Argentina with a delicious watermelon. Now let me
Okay.
chase it down with a glass of wine. Okay, it's not true. But it's been a myth in South America for over 100 years that you should never pair wine and watermelon together. No
Why?
one quite knows why. But we dug and we were able to find a single source from an author, Facundo de Genova. And he says, in probably Argentina, probably sometime in the 1800s, there was a small Catholic church and everything was great. For a time. They grew wine for dinner and watermelon for dessert. Until one day, something bad happened in their idyllic little town.
Someone
A
combined
few men
them?
in the village started getting a bit
Frisky?
gray.
I see.
It was a whole Me Too thing, but it was the first Me Too. It was a Me one. No one quite knows who did what to
Bruh.
whom, but it was a big scandal, I tell you. And it kept happening.
Oh no, what's happening to our beautiful village?
They said
Bruh.
in their funny foreign accents. Now, presiding over the village was a monastery. So the priests all gathered together at this monastery to figure out what the hell's going on with all this grabbiness,
Yeah, this town sucks now.
said the women folk.
I hope you have
town
the
that
plan
sucks.
to fix this.
Yes, of course we do. But first, we must figure out why the men are becoming so grabby. Come on, guys, think outside the box. We have
They
to
were
find
too
something,
happy
anything
with
to blame,
dessert
except
and
the
wine.
people who actually did the thing. So the priests began looking at the diets of the people in
see.
the village. The priest said aloud. One of the monks proposed a theory. Have you noticed that we grow a lot of grapes here? Yes. And have you noticed that we also grow a lot of watermelon? Yeah. Well, what if, somehow it makes the men folk grabby? That must be
What?
it. We must put a stop to this. But how? Well,
Bruh.
let's tell them that if they drink wine and eat watermelon, they'll go to hell. Okay.
Sounds legit. Oh, I can't believe that. a small village started an entire thing that lasted 100 years of literally having basically being a legend.
So that's what they did. Hear ye, do not drink wine and then eat watermelon. You'll go to hell. Oh, really? Really? I don't know that.
You'll go to hell.
And it worked. The assaults suddenly stopped.
Damn.
Hurrah! Although whether that was a coincidence, we don't actually know. Over time, however, the messaging kind of evolved. Because don't mix wine with watermelon isn't exactly a well-known Bible proverb, and people became less religious. So instead of, you'll go to hell, the line changed to, it's poison and you'll die. And in Argentina, in some places, the myth still perpetuates. Now, is there actually any evidence at all that pairing wine and watermelon together
Hey guys,
really
did you know that if
causes
you breathe,
the myth?
you eventually die?
Kinda. Watermelon contains an amino acid, arginine,
Just saying.
which partially transforms into nitric oxide, and then nitric oxide is a vasodilator. And vasodilators do this. Plus, wine also has polyphenols, and that
They do this. You know what else does that?
also helps in the formation of nitric oxide, so double this. But the effect from nitric oxide is actually
Triple
very mild.
this.
Also, all of these foods have
I'm sorry.
polyphenols and arginine in them as well. So pretty much everything has it. So, no, the effects are likely hugely overstated. So, the moral of the story is...
I'm left-handed too, Ruben. I'm definitely going to hell.
This next
We are
section
to
is on
listen to
wine
people.
in the Bible. Sort of. Apologies if we got any details wrong. We mostly kept this section because we liked the pun on Eucharist. Jumping forward to Jesus. This is his first recorded miracle. So, Jesus and a whole bunch of his followers and stuff, they are invited to a wedding in Cana. Now, the waiter goes over to serve...
It was actually responsible for grabbing us? Yeah, kinda. Both of them were. It's not necessarily one or the other, it's just people started to abstain from both, was potentially.
some guests, some wine, and... uh-oh.
It's empty.
We'll play board games in hell.
There's no more wine.
How about we play board
No,
games
wait,
before
I've got a
that?
plan, says Jesus.
Oh,
Bring me
Jesus.
6 big stone jugs, about 20 to 30 gallons each, and fill them up to the brim with H2O. Now, check out this. And he does the finger thing.
He does the finger thing.
And then when they went to pour the water, suddenly it was wine. And it was the best wine that anyone had ever had. And they go, oh, that's pretty good, Jesus. But have you got
Wine.
any other miracles? And he says, yes. Come on, we're going to do a supper. Now, everyone is gathered around, and this is the point at which Jesus reveals, by the way, one of you is very sus.
One of you is very sus. I'ma bark out who? Woof, 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 woof. Woof, 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 woof. Woof. Woof.
I know one of you will betray me. And he looks at Judas,
I wonder
and Judas is
who,
kind of looking
Judas.
away. But then Da Vinci's like,
Woof, 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 woof.
Guys, I need you to stay still for the painting.
so
Stay
Jesus goes,
still.
watch this. And he takes some bread and wine, and he says, look at this bread. This is my flesh. And everyone's kind of like, really? And he goes, well, yeah. I mean, if you're Protestant, then just metaphorically. No, okay, look at this wine. It is my blood. Really? Quit making this so complicated. Here, have some. So he
so
hands it to his
complicated.
disciples, and they went, fantastic. I was peckish and thirsty. And he goes, yes, in fact, I shall call this little celebration a Eucharist, or Holy Communion. It will be the practice of eating one cracker or piece of bread and drinking some wine. And if you eat the whole thing and drink the whole bottle,
Honestly,
that's
the
called
crackers
a
are delicious.
Eucharist.
Eucharist. Bruh. That can't be a legit word. Can it?
Most Christians today take that as a symbolic thing. Unless you are Catholic. Now, they believe
Bruh, why the slap? Why? It's kind of funny hearing this because I grew up with both religions. Like, I grew up with Orthodox and Catholic.
Believe in what's called
Oh.
transubstantiation, which means that the bread and wine literally turns into the body and blood of Jesus at the moment that they are consumed. However, it does still look like bread and wine, and they call that phenomenon appearance.
And
or
they're all
accident.
delicious.
It has changed,
As a side
but you
note.
just can't tell. Except for sometimes when you actually
No, I never
can.
got slapped.
Lanciano, Italy, in the 8th century. There is a monk, and he has been on r/atheism for far too long. He is starting to have doubts about the
It's been on r/athletes. Bruh.
blood and wine stuff. But he
I can
still has
imagine
his
someone
monthly
actually
responsibility.
browsing that.
So, he holds mass, and he says the words of consecration. This is my body, this is my blood, this is my rifle, this is my gun.
Hold on now. We kind of went a bit far. We don't really have rifles or guns over here. Just saying.
At that very moment, the bread turns into literal flesh in his hands, and the wine turned to blood. Holy shit. to
Jesus,
everybody
man.
In unison. And ironically, he went, oh, well, I should probably not eat this then. So instead, he kept it in this chalice thing. What is it? A clock? Anyway, there it remains still
Seriously?
today, kept in the church of San Francesco. And now, a couple
Seriously?
of years later, in the 1970s,
Damn.
Professor Odaro
I did not
Leone
know that.
decides, let me do a bit of an experiment. So he took
me
a sample
experiment.
of the flesh, and he came to the conclusion that it was indeed real. Apparently, it was part of a heart valve, and that the blood type was AB. The sample has not been analyzed since. However, it is officially recognized by the Roman Catholic Church.
Badass.
Here ends the reading.
The more you know. The more you know. The less you
Now, you
want to
might
know.
say, wow, that section really doesn't have a whole lot to do with wine. And
I
in
was
fact,
gonna ask-
you're just badly retelling a Bible story.
I was gonna ask, why did we get a Bible lesson again for wine?
This final section we started making for the main channel when we found this massive court document, and we thought, holy shit. this is a hell-
Disclaimer, we ain't lawyers. There are several cases taking place with different parties. I struggle to read anything with big words when my mom isn't around to help me sound each syllable out. This is our best attempt at understanding what happened. Nice. I like the self-added burn there.
hell of a story. And we had all these ideas
Shove,
of
come
it
here.
being like Witcher themed, and so there were quite a few like random Witcher assets, just ignore that. But it just kept blooming and blooming into this bigger story, and it got too long. And so here it is on Incognito. And here we begin in 1743.
Yeah, he's on the wheel.
Birth of Thomas Jefferson. Push, Mrs. Jefferson, push. Now, Tom Jeff.
Yeah.
He was involved with some politics.
Tommy, my
kinda
boy.
sexy, but you're too late, he's dead. But
Tilly,
what's
you're
more
dead.
important is he tried his hand at a lot of different hobbies.
Shove.
Architecture. He designed his own home in Monticello.
Come
he
here.
played the violin. He kept mockingbirds. He collected fossils. And, most relevant
What
of
an
all,
avid gamer
he
before
hoarded
games.
a culture. In his extensive garden, he kept
Horticulture.
330 types of vegetables and 170 types of fruit. One of those fruits was grapes.
Ooh la la.
So he tried his hand at viniculture. And while he was good at a lot of things, he never saw much success with making wine. So he mostly collected the stuff. Now, people naturally wondered, like, hey, what happened to the wine he made and
That's
the wine
a
he
lot.
collected? Did he sell it all? Did he give it away? Did he attempt the huge caress? Fast forward,
caress.
1985. Meet German music producer Hardy Rodenstock. He is an avid wine collector, and he's tapping on the walls of old buildings in Paris, looking for some national treasures. On this occasion, the wall opened, and my God. Sealed behind, he said that he found a collection of 24 bottles, dating all the way back to the 1780s, and
Damn.
look at that. THJ engraved right there on the glass. Thomas Jefferson.
Jefferson.
It seems like Mr. Rodenstock has stumbled upon Jeff's hidden collection. Mystery solved.
Tommy!
And it would make sense that they wound up in France because Jefferson spent a number of years over there. Amazing.
Would it make sense though? Would it? Would it really? Who travels with their entire bottle collection? I mean, it makes sense there were only 24 bottles, right? But really? You travel with your wine collection?
And into Rodenstock's wine collection, they went. Now, Rodenstock's wine collection was something quite special, and he liked to show it off. So every year he would host tasting events that featured extremely rare wines. And he would invite all the most prominent German celebrities, such as the Hans brothers, and Das Boot, and Death Stranding. Now, one of his guests was a guy named Michael Broadbent, senior director for Christie's auction house. Together, they cracked open one of the THJ bottles. Bottle number 1. Broadbent said that the wine was delicious. Yup.
What were they supposed to say, man? Were they supposed to spit it out and go like, nah, man, this is the most vile shit in existence? No, of course not. We learned in the big video about wine, they're too snobby to admit when something tastes bad. They're gonna describe it in all fancy words and then spit it in a bucket later.
These bottles are in perfect condition, he said. You should really auction these things. I run an auction. You should put them in there.
Ah, self-serving. That also works, yeah.
Maybe I should, said Mr. Rodenstock. Maybe I should. But before they did that, they sold two of the bottles privately. Number 2 and number 3. And they drank a fourth. On the 5th of December, 1985, they put up bottle number 5 for auction at Christie's.
A cat.
It was bought by
on the
Christopher
wheel.
Forbes for £105,000, which at the time meant
Holy shit. That's a lot of money.
it was the most expensive
Almost
bottle of
400K
wine
now?
ever sold. But that wine wasn't to drink. Proudly, that thing sat on the Forbes shelf, eventually to be put into the Forbes gallery in the exhibit on former presidents.
Forbes has a gallery? The more you know.
And funnily enough, they actually put this bottle on display under big industrial lights, and it heated the thing something fierce. And the heat ruined its drinkability, of course. In fact, so intense was the light that the glass expanded and the cork fell into the bottle.
Oh, God.
Sometime
That
passed.
is so bad. Why was it stored improperly? Don't people know when they buy shit how to store it? Ah, that's so sad.
They celebrated the sale with another drink. Bottle number 6, now gone. And then they sold 2 more privately. In 1987, they drank bottle number 9. 1988,
They drink a
drank
lot
bottle
of
number
shit,
10.
man.
And at this point, a new challenger enters the scene.
They drank more bottles than they sold. What the heck? No, actually the same amount. But still, what the heck?
The White Wolf of Palm Beach.
They
call him
some
Bill
Witcher
Cook.
music.
Some say it's short for billionaire. He's a member of one of the wealthiest families in America.
Koch.
And he is also
Koch
one
family.
of the world's most avid collectors of wine. So they sell
That
him
is
a
a
total
huge
of
seller,
4
yeah.
bottles for $311,804.
He originally just bought 1, but then he reconsidered and bought 3 more. Wow. They got a pretty good deal on it, given the rate that others were sold at.
We're way over here on the graph at this point. So, gently, careful now, he put them in his climate-controlled cellar. And he would show them off to his friends. Otherwise, here they remained for the next 17 years.
They are for consuming. Yeah. But like, they were selling it for a lot, right? They consumed 1 and then they sold 2 for a fortune. You'd think that, they could have a bit different wine. I can't believe it's worth consuming down the drain over $100K back then. I don't know, man. My brain just goes, buy a cheaper bottle of wine with the money you make from selling all of them. Instead of, let me just pop open to celebrate this 100K bottle. It's weird.
As the years ticked by, more bottles were sold and more bottles were consumed, until there were none left. 2005.
Damn.
The 4 Coke bottles had sat around for a long time on the shelf, doing nothing.
Doing nothing.
Something new happened. The Boston Museum of Fine Arts was interested in displaying the bottles and wanted to trace the exact provenance. So Coke gets on the line with the Jefferson Foundation and he goes, look, I don't mean to brag, but I'm about to have my bottles displayed at the Boston Museum. But I need just a little bit of verification. Could you tell me exactly where these bottles come from? And the Thomas Jefferson Foundation responded, I'm afraid we can't do that. We don't think they're real. Yeah.
What?
In fact, you're not the only person to call about this. What? Yes, it was in the 80s.
Damn, son.
Mr. Broadbent, I believe, of Christie's auction house called up trying to verify the bottles so that he could sell them. But we looked through our comprehensive historical records and found no mention of these bottles. Here's a letter we sent saying that we couldn't verify them. And they're probably fake. But he sold those bottles to me. Now, back to 1776. Now, here's the thing you should know about Jefferson. Let's just say if he was around today, he would play a lot of Factorio. He was...
He would play a lot of Factorio. Oh, man.
You know.
I have the largest collection of Funko Pops in the world.
Wow.
And that meant that his record keeping was very meticulous. All of his anime was ordered alphabetically. And so too were all the things that he ever purchased, including wine. So that's my story, Mr. Pepsi. And those bottles are probably fake. When Coke hears about this, he hangs up the phone and hits speed dial on his pager or something, and I need to assemble a team of investigators. Mr. Rodenstock lived in Germany, so Coke's investigators scoured the countryside for clues, and eventually they found a lead. They managed to track down 5 German residents who claimed to have done...
Why are we seeing footage of dwarves, man? What do you think Germany is?
Raving work for Rodenstock in the past. They said, hey, have you seen these bottles before? And they went, oh yeah, we have. We did those. And all 5 were certain that the THJ engravings were done by an electric power tool. Every one of these 24 bottles of Jefferson wine were fake. Big fat phonies.
Holy shit.
Allegedly. So, Bill takes all of this evidence to court, and Rodenstock is summoned, but he doesn't show up. So Bill wins in absentia and is awarded $1 million. In the end, Bill never received any money from Rodenstock.
What's the big deal about wine fraud? Jesus did it. He actually said that? Jesus Christ, man. And high bar tag. Jesus. Jesus really did commit wine fraud, though.
But to Bill, it was about sending a message more than receiving any money.
I'm coming after you.
And it's just one battle of many that Bill has fought against counterfeit wine.
The thing with wine, right? If you watch the wine from before, the one that he did, it's very hard to tell the difference at a certain point in wine. It will pretty much still taste similar. So, yeah, you're pretty much not going to be able to really tell. It can still be very good wine. It's just, not wine that's famous from a famous person from back then. At the end of the day, right, it's about value. Something can be really good and worth nothing. Like, my model. Like, I think my model is the best proof of that. We talked about it. For this quality, it should not be this cheap. And yet it is. It's affordable.
In 2008, Coke filed a consumer fraud lawsuit against the Chicago Wine Company, which was later settled out of court. Another time, Coke spent $3.5 million buying nearly 2,700 bottles of wine from Zacky's auction house. Almost a third of $1 million worth was fake. The auction house settled out of court, but the seller was told to pay $379,000 in damages and another $1,000 for every bottle. But then the next day they went, you know what, we thought about it. This jury has decided to award you $12 million in punitive damages. Jackpot, said Mr. Coke. I'm rich. But a year later, the court changed its mind and awarded Coke only $711,000.
How does the court change their mind, man? How do you go and have the court go like, oh yeah, you're totally worth that, and then, you know what, I changed my mind. You know what? Nah. You know, they opened one of those wine bottles themselves and they went, it don't taste that good.
Okay, so this guy's like a one-man army, and he's going around trying to scare the shit out of anyone who's selling fake wine. Oh, you've got expensive rare wine, do you?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll buy it then. Yeah, but no, yeah, I'll buy it. No, it's fine. It's genuine, is it? Yeah, you're saying it's genuine. Yeah, definitely. And then he goes and he inspects it, then finds it's fake, and then goes, yeah, I knew all along, stupid. Lawsuit time. By doing this, he's very slowly cleaning up the market. After all of these investigations,
bruh, I gotta say, I handed to him for like cracking down on fake wine. Like, that is some dedication, man. This man is a crusader of our times. He was so inspired by Jesus's fake wine adventure that he was like, I will run a crusade against fake wine.
Bill has spent around $35 million tracking
What's the
down
wine made
fake
of?
wine.
Cola? I don't know.
But by 2016, Coke was ready to lay down his weapons.
It was
He
made out
sold
of
off
Coke.
a big chunk of his collection, and it sold for $22 million.
Ooh,
which means
wow.
he likely did not break even. So consider
That
giving
is so
to
sad.
his GoFundMe.
Did he really say GoFundMe? That is still so sad for the poor guy. Oh.
Now, this is actually just a very small part of the story. This scandal ended up making such waves across the wine industry that they decided to make a movie about it, based on the Benjamin Wallace book, The Billionaire's Vinegar.
I want to
And it was
watch the
set to
movie
star
now.
Brad Pitt. No, wait. Now it's Matthew McConaughey. No,
They
wait.
still
It looks
haven't
like it's
made
cancelled.
it? Aww. I got teased.
All right, there's the video.
For
Thanks
a
for watching.
movie.
4 more to go, but we've already started in on the regular
that
type
got
stuff in case you don't
cancelled.
fancy. Okay, bye. And don't forget, incognito.com/incognito.
I feel cheated. Not as much as that guy would whine, but yeah. It's so sad for him, but at the same time, I'm like, damn. These people moving millions with wine and having weird debates about whether the wine is quote-unquote fake. Meanwhile, us plebs being at our home going like, there's fake wine? It's like, is it not still wine? Oh. Dude's a billionaire. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, they have other problems, apparently. Unlike us mortals. I say us mortals, but yeah, we all know I'm still a vampire, but shh. Mortal in heart, yeah. My soul is mortal. That's a very mortal thing to do, right?